is up, Daddy Gang? It is your founding father, Alex Cooper, with Call Her Daddy.
Alex Morgan, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Thank you. Hi, Alex.
Hi. Okay, you tell me when is the last time you touched a soccer ball and I'll tell you.
Oh my God. Okay, the last time I touched soccer ball was this was 5 months ago. Yeah. They tried to get me to juggle in heels. And I said, I can't juggle right now, let alone in heels. Okay, your turn. Tell me.
First of all, I need to validate you because when you're playing, you take obviously juggling so seriously because it's kind of like a fun thing that you do before practice or after games or whatever. And there's obviously the girls that are so good at it. I used to be really good, so I'm so competitive with myself. So whenever someone's like, oh, so juggle, I'm like, let me just, first of all, I haven't touched a soccer ball. So the fact that you think I can just do like a one-legged volley up and then onto my knee, no. Stop it. You're insulting me.
I was kind of scared coming here because I was like, are we going to bust out a soccer ball?
Wait. No, my team literally had a soccer ball ready and I was like,
put that away.
We didn't know. And they were like, what if for the promo you kick the ball? And I was like, wait, what? You want me to juggle? And they're like, no, just slide the ball to the left. And I was like, okay, that's bare minimum, but I can do that. No, I haven't touched a soccer ball except for we got one for my little nephew at our house and he was playing with it. And then I started to get competitive and he's 3.
And then you slide tackled him.
Basically. And then they're all like, what is wrong with you? That's the last time I touched one. But to actually play, no, it makes me sad. But happy, sad, but sad. It's weird.
It is weird, but it's also don't want to be getting injured. So I will leave that in the past life.
Absolutely. We were good at one point. No, I was fine. You were great at one point, and now you deserve to relax and protect your shins and your knees
and the knees
and your ACLs
and the ankles and the ACLs,
the whole thing. Okay. I just need to say, I have now interviewed 2 of your former teammates. I interviewed Abby Wambach and I interviewed Trinity Rodman. Do you keep up with these ladies, or do you guys kind of do your own thing? How do you vibe with old teammates?
Yes to all of that. Abby, we just see each other randomly. I actually got I recently got the Icon Award. This is not a humble brag, but from ESPN. And Abby was like, I can't go to watch your Icon Award. So she went the night before and literally flew out right after saying hi to me. And she's like, I just wanted to be here for you.
Wow.
And that was actually really incredible. I cried. I was like, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot. So me and Abby really care about each other. And Trin is someone who I care dearly about. And I've just seen her career and just her life take off in front of my eyes. And I'm really happy for her. So I do try to keep up with the girls, but it's not every day we're on group text and texting and stuff. I got kids. I have mom group friends that don't even know who Alex Morgan is, which I'm so happy with.
You like it.
It's so nice. I just show up and I'm just one of the moms.
Until you're oh, now my little one want to play soccer. And all of a sudden everyone's like, who can teach them? And then you're going to be able to be like, I'll do it.
I will be in my hoodie. No. Do you have an extra hoodie I can wear?
You're like, not me. And then you come out of retirement for your kids and you're like, let's go.
Get the ball. Slide tackle.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Tinder. Daddy Gang. I know meeting someone on a first date can obviously sometimes be extremely intimidating, but going on first dates just got way more fun, okay? Because now you do not have to do it alone. Tinder's new double date feature lets you and your bestie team up, match together, and find a pair that fits both your vibes. Just tap the double date icon in the app and you'll see profiles built for 2. When 2 pairs match, the whole crew connects and the group chat begins. Double date is a new way to keep the chat fun and is a low pressure way to meet people. I personally am obsessed with this new feature for my friends. Honestly, I'm sad that it wasn't around when I was dating, okay? But you and your best friend can scope profiles together, be a little creep, go around, creep around, look up what they're up to, and then you can have group chats with these potential dates and keep the energy high when you're out together. That is a dream. If I could have brought Lauren with me when we were seeing sussing out men, boom. And a potentially anxiety-inducing first date. I think now has been able to turn it into a fun night out with your bestie and some potential new connections, okay? So whether your date turns into something serious or it's just like a fun story for you to write into Call Her Daddy about, Double Date is the perfect way to explore new possibilities while also keeping things familiar. So try all the new Tinder Double Date because everything's better with friends. Explore all the possibilities. Tinder, it starts with a swipe. Download Tinder today. Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Uber Eats. Okay, Daddy Gang, we all know Uber Eats has the best selection of local restaurants, but did you know they also eat when it comes to a whole range of delivery services? Now, that might be a lot to take in, so let's break it down, okay? Uber Eats isn't just for locked-in salad bowl lunches or pre-gaming with Ty. When you can't make it to the store, you can just get about anything you need delivered straight to your door with Uber Eats. Right now, you could be checking off your whole shopping list, okay? Of course, I'm locked in on Uber Eats when it comes to getting my lunchtime sandwiches or a good delicious meal after work. But say I need a little cocktail at the end of the day. Uber Eats is my go-to spot to get all of the ingredients I need sent to my door. I also use Uber Eats for pretty much everything: paper towels, groceries, snacks. I even order a pair of flip-flops to the nail salon, okay? They've got my back no matter where I am. When you can't make it to the store, Uber Eats brings you the store, essentially, okay? There is nothing better than putting on a good show, getting cozy on the couch, and having the perfect meal delivered right to me, along with 5 other things that I forgot to pick up that day. Uber Eats makes it easy to have it all. Get grocery, alcohol, and everyday essentials in addition to the restaurant food you love. So in other words, get almost anything with Uber Eats. Order now. For alcohol, you must be legal drinking age. Please enjoy responsibly. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
I'm excited to talk to you today because you have paved the way for so many women on and off the field. And I have looked up to you for so long, and I know so many people watching have. So I want to go back to the beginning a little bit here. You decided at 7 that you wanted to be a professional soccer player. This is what I read. And you told your mom that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Can you share the story of when you told her this and what her reaction was?
Yeah. So, taking us way back. So, my sister, I have 2 older sisters, and I always wanted to follow in their footsteps. I was always trying to do everything they did, but better, obviously, as the youngest sibling goes. And so my sister was decided to write a little sticky note to my mom to put in her office, "Hi, Mom, I love you so much, and I want to become a model when I grow up." That was what my sister wanted to be. And I was like, model, lame. Let me tell you. So I was like, "Hi, Mommy, I love you so much. And when I grow up, I want to be a professional soccer player." And she had my sisters and mine, posted them on the wall and was like, "Girls, you go get it. I will do anything you need to be able to accomplish that." So my mom took me to Mia Hamm's retirement game. She bought season tickets to 2 women's leagues before that folded, just to support the team. We couldn't ever go to the games, but just to support the team. And she was like, let's do this. I'm here. We'll fly across country. I'll do anything to help you become a professional soccer player, which, by the way, there was little to no avenue to do that at the time.
Absolutely. It's also cool for you, Alex, because I feel like so many girls did grow up being I'm going to be a professional soccer player. And then it doesn't happen. And you get to sit here now and it's crazy even hearing you reference Mia Hamm, because I grew up and Mia was just my everything. I had the posters, I went to games, I watched her on TV. And then you became a lot of young girls' Mia Hamm. And how crazy to think that it started on this Post-it note, and your mom, which is incredible to know that your parents were so supportive and they were like, "Oh, we've got you." Because I think a lot of times when kids are young, parents can be like, yeah, sure, you want to do that. And then they don't actually help foster that drive and that dream that you have. So that's really cool. Your parents were supportive.
It was really awesome.
Your dad, though, was also a huge part of your life. You said that he was one of the best coaches that you ever had. But
did I say that?
Yes, you had said my dad was one of
at the time.
Yes, my dad had been one of my best coaches, even though he knew nothing about soccer.
That sounds on par.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect. Is there anything that you look back now that your dad like taught you or had you do that you're like, that literally made no sense, Dad? Like that makes no sense for soccer, but since you're my dad, I was just like doing it.
So I lived my like playing career just like I had my dad in the back of my head all the time because he knew like growing up I played all different sports and I knew I wasn't the best soccer player. Like I was not the most technical athlete out there. I had athleticism, but like put a ball on my foot and like I couldn't make it go exactly where I wanted it to go. But my dad like instilled this confidence in me and he kept just after every game, after every training, like he didn't tell me like, good job, you did everything perfectly. There was criticism in there, but he would tell me, you are the best. Like, and you need to believe that when you step on the field, you need to believe you are the best because you are. Like in my eyes, you deserve better. Like we went to a team when I went from rec to club soccer and he was like, this is not the team for you. They don't treat you like you're the best. The coach doesn't believe in you like you believe in yourself. We're going to a different team. So I think like that confidence that he instilled in me and like he almost had for me, kind of helped me believe that throughout my career. So it was like, I don't care that I am not the best soccer player. I can't put the ball in the exact spot that I want to, but I'm going to believe that I'm the best all around, all day, every day. And just having the mentality took me a really long way.
I appreciate you sharing that you acknowledge like you weren't always like the most talented on the team. Like you really had to work for it. Because I saw when I was preparing for the interview, I was also shocked to learn that as a teenager, one of your coaches, you had said, told you that you weren't good enough for the team and that you would be a practice player. Mm-hmm. I love that you're smirking.
I'm smirking because I got a text from him like,
no,
oh my God, this was like last year. Like it was a long text. I would have to pull it up, but it was like, I'm so sorry. I was in the wrong headspace at the time. And I really apologize for what I said, but it seems like you've done it well for yourself and blah, blah. And I was just like, fuck this. Like, I'm not giving this the time of day at all.
Wait, I also love that it took him this long.
Oh, like,
you're like, babe, I'm
like 20 plus years.
Yeah. Stop. You're like fully winning like a World Cup and he's like can't text you then, but now he's finally like sliding in as you're like retiring and you're like, bro, where has this been for the last 2 decades?
Yeah, no.
Okay, 2011 World Cup. You have to talk to me. You made history as the youngest player in the US to be on that team. Where was your head at mentally when you realized, like, I am going to the World Cup and I am the youngest rookie?
My head was like not anywhere to be found. I was like, stay in line, do as you're told, shut up, like, don't say anything. Like, I could not be more opposite than these young players coming in like, I have arrived. Here I am, know my name, learn it, memorize it. Like, I was opposite of that. I was like, don't make a peep. Like, shut up. Like, don't do anything to get you to have anyone look at you. Even, yeah.
Alex. This is why I love interviewing people because, like, again, I have images of you in my head on that field when you're, like, scoring and that, like, competitive, incredible part of you that, like, has that, like, beast mode inside of you, and then hearing you be like, I'm just like hiding behind the girls, like just happy to be here, like anyone need water, like,
you know, though, when you step on the field, it's kind of your like release. Yeah. Like with you, maybe it's having a microphone in a room by yourself. You know, you just like are yourself in a way that you can't explain, and then you get that taken away from you. Like I step off the soccer field and I'm back to like, oh, okay, these are my teammates that I've been looking up to my whole life. Like Abby Wambach just scored the game winner to move us into the semifinal in overtime of extra time. Like, and now I'm off the field and I'm like having dinner with her and we're just like, have to move on to the next game. Okay.
Right? Because you're like watching these women and they're so fucking talented and you're watching them on your screen and then you're standing there next to them and you're like, hey guys, I'm Alex. How did you eventually get out of the imposter syndrome that any rookie would potentially feel? Well, not all rookies, you're right. Some are like, I'm literally hot shit, bitch, watch out.
Good for them.
Yes. How did you work through imposter syndrome?
I don't know. Sometimes I still feel like I'm living through that. Like I still feel like sometimes, even just a few years ago, showing up and being like the starter or maybe the star player, whatever it might be, I still feel like I would show up and be like, I know I belong and I know I deserve to be here and I know I've worked for this, but it still feels a little weird. Like it still feels like weird to like know that millions of people are watching me play or that this like stadium is coming, like these 60,000 people are coming to watch us play. And I'm supposed to be scoring the goals, So I don't know if you ever get over it, but you just get used to it. Like you just like eventually it's rinse and repeat and you get used to it, I guess.
Do you feel like there was a point in your career where you had a shift in your confidence level? Like I get the imposter syndrome is weird because it's like, who would get used to millions of people tuning in these huge moments in your career? But like, did your confidence ever be like, okay, I'm feeling better about myself and my game and like who I am in this league?
Yeah, I think in 2015, we won the World Cup and I felt like it was like, that was the first time in a long time we had won the World Cup. And we felt like, okay, we want to celebrate and we want to party, but we still have to be like buttoned up and we still have to be like girls. We have to be nice women where we have to say the right thing. You can't curse. You can't you don't want to be seen like drinking, God forbid, smoking a cigar when you celebrate. Like, no, that doesn't happen. Then fast forward to 2019 and we were like owning our shit. We were like, yeah, we're the best. We're going to win. We filed an equal pay lawsuit against U.S. Soccer. We know that winning this is going to help our case and we are the best. And so we like carried that like confidence in a way that I feel like women don't usually feel comfortable being able to do so because we've always been suppressed. Like, no, just be a nice lady, shut up. And we were like, no, and we're going to celebrate and we're going to do that with alcohol. We're going to do that with parties. We're going to do that with loud music. We're going to do that with saying whatever the F we want. And we did. And I feel like that was the moment that I was like, oh, like I can be a badass out on the field and I can celebrate my wins, but I could just be whatever I wanted to be. And I feel like it was just like this eye opener in a way that almost was like opposite of what I like grew up knowing and being told what I needed to do and being like told I needed to be grateful for what I had.
I agree. I remember that moment where you guys win and we see these women like acting what some people would assume is more like men. And it's like, oh my God, they have an alcoholic beverage in their hand. And they're like, yeah, we just fucking won. Like, can't we celebrate? But I can't help but attribute that to like, I bet it would be so much harder if it had been a solo sport. I think there was something that all of you on this rise and having this huge win and having this momentum and this camaraderie, all of you as women finally were looking around being like, you guys, we're so fucking good. We deserve this. Like, how are we not being able to enjoy what we've worked so hard for and for our country for? And I think that's such a testament to what we're saying is like, look at the power of when women can actually come together and look around and be like, we actually don't all have to compete. We're here together and let's use all of our voices to actually make a difference for all the younger generations, which you guys did, which I want to get to now. Let's talk about the double standards because this is like a perfect transition because it's like, oh my God, where do we even start? Obviously, women in sports are held to a much, 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 much higher standard than men, right? Like female athletes are expected to just be the most incredible, perfect role model for the young girls and to act polite and to be grateful.
Why do you do it? Do you do it for the young girls? You do it to be a role model? Like, is that why you play soccer? Like, you want like to inspire the next generation. It's always how many questions have I gotten like just phrased like that?
When do you think at a point in your career when you started to go professional, did you feel, or is there an example where you were like, oh my God, I'm really experiencing this overwhelming pressure to be a role model, not just a soccer player?
During the Olympics in 2012, I gained a starting spot earlier that year, and then scoring goals and winning the Olympics in 2012, I feel like I kind of shot up to like a fame that we didn't have in women's soccer for many years since Mia. And so that was the moment that I felt like, okay, I really need to watch what I'm saying, watch what I'm doing. I need to make sure that I'm like carrying myself in a good way and I'm representing myself, my team, my country, my family, in a positive way. Like it was almost like thinking through things, and in a lot of ways, like my personality, like I almost went inside of myself a little bit more, and I was still very much myself around my family, and my boyfriend, my husband now, my boyfriend at the time. But I felt like I couldn't necessarily like show everybody who I was, or like have that personality all the time, because I didn't really want to be like criticized in that way. I didn't want to be told that I wasn't being a good role model for young girls. So I kind of just like showed people what they wanted to see and hear, and then behind closed door, like I was myself.
When you say that, do you think if you went back, you would change anything?
I think if I like was going through my professional career and like becoming that like 18, 20, 22-year-old like professional athlete now, I think standards have shifted a little bit. So I think it would be a little bit different. And I think it would have shaped me differently in a way of feeling a little more confident to be like myself, even when the cameras were on. But at the time, I feel like it was in a lot of ways like women's sports didn't really have a platform. We were really fighting to like get any access, like for our games to be broadcasted, for more than 3,000 people to be coming to our games at the time. So it was like do anything and everything to help this sport grow. And that means like how you carry yourself all day, every day.
It's exhausting.
It's really fucking exhausting.
Did you have people in your ear giving you feedback and advice, or were you navigating this and kind of figuring out how to move and be a role model publicly on your own?
Well, I was both navigating it through my teammates and like my agent and my family, but I was also seeing like how maybe some of my teammates who reacted in a different way, who maybe brought their egos publicly, or had just not even, it's hard to say ego, just like confidence, who brought them their full selves to the public, like were seen as in a negative way. And so I was like, well, I don't know that I want to have that much criticism on me at such a young age. So just like get in line and kind of do what you're told, and like put on a happy face, and like take like after games, I would literally be signing autographs and taking photos for like an hour. You don't see male athletes doing that. Like they wouldn't stop for a photo after a game. Like they're going to the locker room, they're showering, they're getting home, and they're having a beer or whatever they're drinking. But for me, I was like, that was what we had to do. We had to like show everyone that like every single person in that stadium mattered, that we were doing the most to grow our sport, that we were being a good role model,
And it's like also hearing you say that, I agree. It's like there's so many moments where, of course, like you're so grateful. You want to sign an autograph, you want to smile and take a picture, but it's the fact that it is this like prerequisite that you are expected, and anything less than perfect, then you're probably a bitch, or you have some type of problem and you're an egomaniac and you're an asshole, and oh, Alex Morgan isn't even a nice person. And all of a sudden you're like, wait, just because I like created a little bit of a boundary for myself because I just played a 90-minute game and now I just want to like quickly go rinse off and like not take sweaty pictures for an hour. yeah, that's going to be a different double standard than men.
Yeah.
Do you feel like when you are still doing interviews like this, though, a part of younger Alex Morgan, like the superstar, but also the role model, like you have to fight against not leaning into that like PR side of yourself because you trained yourself for so many years?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it is definitely like, okay, it's okay to like open up. It's okay to share things and be vulnerable. Whereas for so long it was like, just say the right thing, like do something that makes you look like in a positive way as a representation of so many people. So it is changing your mindset a little.
I have to commend you though. I think it was the right decision back in the day. Like, I don't know if I would have changed anything because I agree with you. I don't think the world was ready in the way that now women in sports are slowly able through social media also to have control of their narrative. You were completely beholden.
We're able to have control of our narrative because like we have people like you able to talk about this on TV. Like it was only men talking about that back then. So they were forming the narrative. The reporters, there was mostly, I would look out, I would be at a press conference on the table, I'd be looking out, it'd be mostly men. Now it's like, it really is split. In a lot of ways, a lot more women have entered into sports.
That's a good point.
In a great way.
2019 World Cup, I have to talk about the tea. You celebrated a goal against England by pretending to sip tea. And the internet and the news.
Oh, all of Britain hated me.
Alex, why do you think people, what did you do? You literally were just like sipping tea.
Well, I scored.
Right. Yes, you did, sweetie. Yes, you did. Don't leave that out. You scored and you celebrated.
I celebrated and I went over and I sipped some tea in front of the world and Britain as we beat them. Yes, I did that. And then they came after me with vengeance. And I was like, I just wanted to celebrate. I never celebrate. I never, ever had a celebration planned. Ever. Look up any other celebration. You will not find one more. I had one celebration my whole life. It's the tea. And people wanted to kill me over it.
Wait. Take me back to that moment. You go and you do this. In that moment, you were just like reacting and it felt right and you didn't plan it, whatever.
Yeah.
Did you have any idea?
None.
And then when did you find out the amount of backlash? Like immediately after the game?
Oh my God, it just built. Like after the game, the next day, 2 days later, 3 days later, like I had to like change. I had to be like, I don't know. It was off the cuff. It had nothing to do with Britain and how you guys like tea. It was like, I was like, this is kind of crazy. Can you guys stop coming after me?
Meanwhile, again, I'm sorry, but we have to do it. Like, can we pull up every absolutely fucking insane dance, gesture, weird shit that guys have done?
The gestures. Yeah, we know.
But you
sipped tea.
You're like, I took a fucking sip of tea, and they're like, you're dead. Meanwhile, men are doing some crazy shit at that, like, on the end zone, and people are like, gorgeous.
That's my player.
Yeah, that's my man. Damn, he's so cool. He's so hot.
I'm gonna buy his jersey because of that.
Meanwhile, they're like, you're canceled because of that.
Yeah.
Smile and just go back to the fucking line and get ready.
Oh, man.
Crazy.
I'm still waiting for my tea sponsorship.
Oh, my God. Honestly, Lipton come through. Imagine.
I know.
Wait, that actually is like genius. They should do it right now. Come on, guys. You still can do it. There's still time.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by T-Mobile. Have you ever met someone and they're the total package, right? Well, that's what it's like being with T-Mobile. You will not believe what you can get with Magenta Status, Daddy Gang. First off, it's amazing coverage, okay? You're connected wherever life takes you. At home, overseas, in the air, even off the grid. Plus, you get unbeatable value from day one. And that's not even the best part. You can get perks on travel, dining, concerts, streaming, and more. With T-Mobile, you're a member with Magenta Status from day one, Daddy Gang. So experience amazing value, next level connectivity, and access to exclusive benefits. With T-Mobile, you can have it all. No more settling. We do not settle, Daddy Gang. I love having T-Mobile because it means I have access to Wi-Fi on planes, which is
without a doubt necessary right now. Even as I'm heading off to a random trip, I'm like, boom, tuning in, boom, thank you, T-Mobile. Plus, with Magenta Status, there are amazing restaurant perks. And when I'm in a new city, I always want to try and just get the best local cuisine. So experience Magenta Status at T-Mobile.com/benefits. What message do you think it sends when we expect female athletes to be overly humble and to essentially downplay their success?
Not a great one. But again, men have been in front of the narrative the whole time. So now I just feel like things have changed. Like, I just love when I see an 18-year-old, when I see Trinity Rodman, like, showing up and being like, this is me. Take it or leave it. Like, so I don't care.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about the double standards of how did you feel when a large part of the conversation at times throughout your career was about your looks?
Oh, man. I mean, it was, yeah. I can't complain. I got a lot of opportunities because of it. But it was like sometimes really, it was cringy. Like, I would go on the internet and be like, this is weird. This is really weird.
What do you remember sticking out to you of, like, just some comments that you remember?
Well, I don't know. It was like going to an autograph signing and just having a guy come up with like all of my swimsuit pictures and being like, oh, I want to just add to the collection in my man cave. And I'm like, oh, TMI, like, I don't care. Ew. I don't care. Don't tell me. Don't tell me what you're doing with this, please. Like, this is weird.
Yeah, it's so crazy because it's like you were one of the best on the field. And then in so many moments, like when I was researching for this, I was reading through so many moments, like in 2015, going into the World Cup semifinals, FIFA posted an article calling you a talented goal scorer with a style that is very easy on the eye and good looks to match. And it's like, wait, what? And then there was like a thing that like I remember reading that was all about how like your bronzed body, like I'm like, what in the fuck is happening?
It's like our talents aren't good enough. They gotta like find something for clickbait. I don't know.
And I remember reading, it was one I think for the Olympics where someone was saying like half of it is like, yeah, to go see the women on the field, and then the other fun part of watching the game is to decide like who's the most good looking on the field.
Listen, I don't care why you buy the ticket to go to the game. As long as you're buying the ticket, whatever. Like, you can think whatever you want to think. I don't want to know your thoughts. You come to the game, you buy the ticket, you buy the jersey. Great. I'm going to get a piece of that. That's all I was thinking.
Yeah. It's kind of how you have to think, right?
It's how you have to think.
When in private moments with your husband or your family, like, did you ever open up about how it was impacting you? Like, were you ever like embarrassed showing up to the field because people are treating you different than some of your teammates? Were you ever self-conscious more? I know that would be confusing to people, but when people are focusing so much on your looks, are you feeling like you have to have your hair perfect and your makeup perfect? Like, how did it impact you personally?
Well, I mean, I honestly like dealt with a lot of acne in my career or just like in my life. Actually, it literally just cleared up when I stopped playing because I stopped like lathering with sunscreen like every 30 minutes on my face and putting lots of makeup on and sweating and everything. Like, suddenly, I mean, your face just clears up when you're like not throwing shit on it all day, every day in the sun. So yeah, I was super self-conscious because I knew in a lot of ways, like a lot of the conversation was about my looks. But also, I mean, I did like Sports Illustrated swimsuit. I've done things where it does like put my looks or my body on display, and I'm fully aware of that as well. But yeah, it got weird sometimes. But I think again, like had this mentality where I just never wanted to overanalyze something. Like I didn't want to think through really why someone was over fixating on my looks, or like why there was a dumb headline about not how many goals I scored, but how high my pony was and how, I don't know, how nice my eyelashes looked or whatever it might be.
What was the experience like with your teammates?
For the most part, it was fine. I mean, like most of my teammates were really, like we were all super supportive of each other. I'd say there was like 1 or 2 teammates that were like, well, I don't wear makeup like some of my teammates, and so I don't really try to like put myself out there like that, you know, and they would say a comment like that and you're like, really? Like, did you have to go there? So you just kind of brush it off and you're like, okay, I fully am aware we don't all have to be best friends. We don't even have to like each other. We just have to play together.
You have to have a mutual respect when you're playing, where it's like each woman is going to do their own thing. Let's support each other, whether you want to glam up or not. Like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
All you should care about is that I'm going to play well. Bye.
Literally, that's it.
I remember when you announced your pregnancy and people immediately were freaking the fuck out. Alex, they were like, oh my God.
So was I.
Well, yeah, but we're going to get to that. Yeah, you're like, oh, hello. Everyone was like, what is this going to do to her body? What is this going to do for her ability to play the sport? Like, talk to me about your reaction, like you just said, pregnancy, and then also your reaction to the public's reaction to your pregnancy.
So when I got pregnant with my first, Charlie, this was when I was 29. So like height of my career. Now, I mean, players like Mal Swanson and Sophia Smith, Sophia Wilson are pregnant and they're like 24, 28. Like, I think that's how old they are.
Yeah.
Literally so much career ahead of them. And it's so amazing that they're able to do both, have a family, be moms and play and have a very long career. But at the time, it was not so common. So yeah, people were definitely like, how could she do this? I can't like, she's never going to get back to where she was before. I mean, not even getting into like my looks, but just like the talent and being able to like play at the level again. And I myself had a little bit of fear for that before I got pregnant. And once I got pregnant, I was in go mode. I was like, no, I'm going to get back to playing. I'm going to have my daughter. I'm going to show my daughter the world and it's going to be great. And I'm going to like do everything I set my mind to and want to accomplish after like starting a family. But yeah, it was not like the happy, like, congrats and we can't wait like for you to have your baby and get back out on the field type reception that I initially thought it would be.
Right. It was kind of like, what are you doing?
Well, it was like, why would you choose that over your career? Like, you are in the height of your career.
And talk to me about your decision to start a family at that point in the middle of your career.
It goes back to honestly like owning who we were in 2019. Like, we won and we were like, this is us, take it or leave it. And I always wanted to be a mom. And honestly, like the confidence that I had growing through that year, between the lawsuit, between winning the World Cup, scoring many goals, getting like the silver boot in the World Cup, like I felt really good about myself. And after that, I was like, I've done everything I've wanted to do. I'm not done playing soccer, but I have been able to accomplish everything I've wanted to. Now it's my turn in life to do what I want to do. Like, and so it was the right time for me.
And that's all that matters. And I think the difficulty of being someone that represents the country in these moments is a lot of people feel like they then should have a say on you and your life and all these things. And meanwhile, which we're going to get to, you're like, oh, maybe if I was even being treated well, but guys, like, let's calm down. You all care about us, which I now being involved in the league, I'm like, it's like we have to stop just pretending it's every 4 years. But it's like for you guys, it's like people caring about women's sports for the Olympics or the World Cup. And then it's like they act like they have a hold over your life, but it's like, this is my life 24/7. You guys are getting to see me in these big moments, but I'm putting my body on the line throughout the whole year. And like, I want to do something for myself, and that's okay. But it is crazy that people make you feel like, no, this should be a joint decision of the country. Put it on your Instagram story and let's all do a poll if Alex is allowed to have a kid or not. Like, that's literally how crazy people are. They think that they deserve a say in your life.
Yeah. It is a really private thing to get pregnant and then to share your pregnancy, not only with your friends and family, but like with your teammates in the world. So it was a really scary moment. Like, I was like going to the doctor's appointment, like really secretively. And this, having conflicted emotions, like I'm so excited, but also like I can't have one person see me going into this doctor, or else like it's going to blow up on the internet, or like I don't know who I can tell without like sharing this really private information that I don't want shared. So just going through my club team and the NWSL Orlando at the time and the national team, it was really scary, like treading that while also like it supposed to be being like one of the most happiest moments of my life too.
Right. And you're navigating it in fear and secrecy a little bit.
Oh yeah. Which I know I'm not alone. I know a lot of women deal with that as well.
Yes. When you have your child and you go back to playing, talk to me about navigating being a mother and also being a professional athlete, and how were you navigating those first few years?
It was not easy. Let me rephrase that. It was very difficult. Because there was no rules. There was no standard for moms like in the NWSL or even on the national team. Like I had to draft up an agreement with the general manager at Orlando, like that my daughter could travel with me and a childcare provider, like a nanny, and also that they could come into team meals. Like they pushed back on like coming into the meal room. I'm like, no, I need my daughter to like, she needs to be with me. Or like going in the locker room. It's like, no, my daughter's going to come with me into the locker room and she can go like to the suite or whatever when I'm ready for her to go. Or even like having a ticket to a suite, not like in the stands with fans. Like, no, I'm not having my 1-year-old daughter like in the stands with fans asking for a photo of my 1-year-old. That's weird. So it was just like, it was writing all these rules that had never been written before. And I was like, oh my God, I've seen players have kids before in soccer and on the national team. How did they do this with even less like resources and support than I do? So it was interesting because I was like being pulled in a million directions, and I was trying to be a great mom and I was trying to be a great soccer player, but I was also now having to like write new rules and advocate for all moms in the future in soccer. And so it was just like a lot at once. So
just a little bit, just a little bit at once.
You can tell like I'm like really passionate about this subject.
Well, as you should be, because it's like when you started to live it again, Alex, I feel like there were so many moments in your career where it was kind of thrust upon you to like be the face of these moments. And you're not even sitting here being like, I didn't want to be. It definitely wasn't something you were asking for. It does show your inner strength that like in all of these moments you were able to be like, I've never done this before. I have no one basically that can kind of like guide me, unless the first conversation we had at the beginning of this is like your rise to fame and this like intense pressure that was put on you for your looks and your game and all of it. I guess you could have called Mia, but there's like 1 or 2, 3 women in the world that you could be calling to ask this. Then you're going through the mom thing, realizing you are one of these star players who has a little bit more privilege than maybe some of the other women.
Oh, yeah.
But still, it's like, I read somewhere where you were like, I'm in the back of the plane with my daughter on my lap and we're going to like the Olympics or something. Like, what happened with that?
There's been many situations like that, but definitely my daughter was, so I had just got traded to San Diego. I was so excited about playing for San Diego in the NWSL, and this was like 3 years ago. And my daughter was 1 1.5, I think. So a 1.5-year-old, is running around. They're very active. They're not an infant. Like they weigh like 25, 30 pounds, maybe more. And I got like on the bus and I got a ticket for my seat. And it was like 27B. And I got one ticket. And I was like, I have my daughter with me. They're like, yeah, well, she's under 2. So she could sit on your lap. And I was like, I'm 27B this is like 3 years ago, with my 1.5-year-old on my lap, and we're going from San Diego to New York. Excuse me? I was like, and back to the privilege thing, I said, I'm sorry, I cannot go on this trip if you don't get a seat for my daughter. This is not happening. This is not, I will walk off this bus. And they got me a ticket for my daughter. And I feel fortunate to be in that situation, to be able to have said that and set then a standard across the league for now it being a child 1 and over having their own seat. I feel like a child should have their own seat regardless. It doesn't matter if they're like 2 months old.
I agree with you, Alex.
You bring the car seat and you put it in the seat so we can get off of the plane and go play our sport and go run around without our legs going numb. So there was a lot of challenges to work through, a lot of barriers to break down.
But it's incredible, like, that you got, again, you speaking up in that moment now is going to change women's lives in the future in this league. And I'm going to get there because I know now, being involved, there's so much change that is happening in the NWSL, which is
so
amazing.
Much. It's amazing.
It's incredible. But I do want to first get to equal pay. Okay, girl. So I realize I have like also a pretty young audience that also tunes in. So I want you to kind of explain this. So obviously one of the most forever legendary things that you did in your entire career, we're talking about World Cups and we're talking about Olympics and we're talking about all the things, is you advocating for and achieving equal pay. And for my listeners who may not be as familiar, can you talk about what led you and your teammates to sue the U.S. Soccer Federation for equal pay?
Yes, we sued our employer in 2019, 3 months before we went to the World Cup. So this started back in 2015. We won the World Cup. First time in 16 years. All of a sudden had like sold out stadiums. We were seeing revenue. We were generating revenue for U.S. Soccer like never before. We were getting sponsors coming to U.S. Soccer saying we want to work with the women. U.S. Soccer doesn't do sponsors for only the women's or men's team. They bundle them together. U.S. Soccer is like one umbrella. Sponsors come and they get everything. So we were seeing this. The books are open. U.S. Soccer Federation is like a company. In order, you can see the taxes, you can see the returns at the end of the year. So you're like, okay, I know what you're making. I know what we're generating. This isn't adding up. So 2016 comes around, we file a motion with the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. And it goes nowhere. Like it sits, 3 years go by. And we know that we are bringing money into U.S. Soccer. However, we are getting paid, for example, like per game, $1,500 for a win, like 0 for a tie, 0 for a loss. The men, I'm throwing this out there, but I think it's almost accurate, $12,000 for a win. Like it was like astronomically different. Like at the end of the year, we were making, if you played in every single game, you're making maybe like 85, 90,000. Men, if they were to play the same amount of games as us, win the same amount of times as us, like $400,000+. Like it was so different. There was such a gap that we were like, and then we were seeing what we were generating, like the revenue we were generating for them. And we're like, this doesn't make sense in terms of what we're bringing in, but also we're doing the same job for the same company as the men, but getting paid vastly different and getting treated vastly different. We're sitting in 27B and the men are in 2A. So we're like, this is not adding up at all. And don't get me started also on FIFA and how we had to also, and they've come a long way, but back in 2015, there was a lot of challenges also on that front. So we went to US Soccer and we filed a lawsuit. We sued them. And
was it all of you? How many of?
It was every single current player except for one. Yeah. Everyone. And that was the only reason we actually got to where we are today in achieving equal pay back in 2022, plus back pay, plus millions of dollars of back pay, was because of us 25, 30 players getting on calls with the lawyers every week, doing depositions, doing multiple failed settlements in Chicago, in New York, taking our own time to fly to New York to hear them bullshit us time and time again.
When you guys decided to do this, did you all deliberate beforehand? What are the risks? And
we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys were not.
The risk was you could be cut. The risk was you might not have a future in soccer. The risks were big. I mean, they were the media can turn against you and you can lose your sponsorships. You can lose which by the way, sponsorships were doing the work off of the field for a lot of us was in a lot of ways for me, especially, it was 90 to 95% of my annual income. Soccer was 5 to 10% of my annual income, but I spent 90 to 95% of my time on it.
Talk to me about once this went public, because I know everyone was you guys, one of your biggest fears was the public, right? And I know that it was a little divided. I think a lot of people publicly were in support, but then there were definitely people that were vocal being no, you guys are being greedy. This is not, you guys shouldn't be doing this. What do you remember feeling when you started to hear these negative reactions?
I was really saddened, but I wasn't surprised. I remember specifically going to the US Soccer annual board because I was on the athletes council, and you get a chance to speak at the end if you want. There's a microphone, a hot mic. And one of the board members from another board, it's there's 300 people in the room. He gets on the mic and he goes, "Our women's team is so disappointing. They disgust me. They don't deserve to be paid what they're asking for. They don't even deserve what they're getting now." He goes on and on for 5 minutes. And after, you hear people in the room clapping, at the US Soccer annual board meeting. And us athletes were mortified, embarrassed on his behalf, but also this is who's making the decisions in this room. Okay, we have a lot of work to do.
And how fucking scary you're all sitting there.
And
people are just clapping.
This is after we won back-to-back World Cups.
I know, and I'm sorry.
After they're fully aware of the books too. What's going on with the finances.
I was going to say no shade, but I guess this is shade. You guys were objectively so much fucking better than the men. The men's team was sucking ass. You guys were winning everything. And I think everyone's probably what is happening? How are they? It's one thing if people are even trying in their fucked up brains to be the men are getting paid more because they're doing better in their league or whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter. You guys are doing the same job and you're having insane income and the men are getting all of these profits and you guys are getting chump change.
That's what I thought. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because
we're on the same page here.
I think people with at least.
Do you know what US Soccer said?
What?
Okay. Their main statement, we had to submit court documents, basically saying why we deserve equal pay, and US Soccer saying why we didn't.
Yep.
Their main argument was that the man bears more responsibility because they what was it? They bear more responsibility because they are inherently faster and stronger. Because it takes more strength and speed by a man, and so the responsibility is greater. So basically saying like women are inherently inferior. That's that. We dragged them. They retracted that statement later.
They're like, we're so fucking embarrassing. We're sorry. Jesus Christ. But that's what's so fucking scary is people genuinely believe this.
They had multiple eyes on that before they submitted that. And they thought that that was the right thing to say. Like, yeah, we believe this. Men are superior because of their muscles. Like, I'm sorry, what?
While you're in the midst of this, I can't. Like, I'm like, where do I even go from there?
Like, you know, when
just
you're really
pause.
uncomfortable and you just laugh because
You're just like, this
like,
is...
I don't know what else to do with my face.
No, literally. Like, we're laughing and it's pathetic and it's so fucking sad, though, because it's like women's sports is such a good representation of how women are not equal in this fucking country.
Yeah. But hey, we're getting there.
That's where we're getting there. Also, just so you guys know, as you're listening, we're getting there because it actually is going to get better. I know we're in the trenches right now and we're like, fuck this shit, but we're getting there because it does get better. Okay. Talk to me about the headspace, I do think, which is interesting to know as an athlete of like, you're in this legal battle for 6 years, but you're still having to play for the organization that you're suing.
Yeah.
What was that mentally like, showing up every day being like,
a mind fuck for sure. Like it was like, hey Alex, like USR come to me, can you do this interview? Can you do this feature ball? And I'm like thinking to myself, why would I do anything for you guys? But then I'm thinking to myself, well, if we settle, if I win this lawsuit, then, you know, we are going to be besties again. And eventually I do want you to pay me more. So like, do I go the extra mile for you? We had so many really heated conversations with the president of US Soccer who had to step down because of very poor decisions that he made, very poor comments that he made. I mean, the amount of times I had to wake up at 2:15 a.m. on the West Coast to do a hit on TV to talk about the lawsuit. Countless. And this is like, then you wake up at 2:15, you do the hair and makeup, you go on TV, you do like the 6-minute hit with Robin Roberts, and then you go home and you wash your makeup off and you go to training, and then you're exhausted. And you're like, I just feel like I worked a full day, but oh yeah, I forgot I'm not getting paid enough at all for what I'm doing.
Talk to me about when you guys win this lawsuit and like realizing that you had achieved equal pay. Where were you and what did it mean to you?
It meant everything. So US Soccer hired Cindy Parlow-Cone, who was a women's national team player, scored many goals, very good player. She became US Soccer president. Also, that was a voluntary position. Like, you did not get paid to do that. So when she came in charge of that, we were like, okay, we got one on the inside. We got this. Still got to convince that board. But we got this. And when we settled and achieved equal pay and millions, over $20 million back pay, I was holding my daughter when we signed it. My daughter was 3 years old, 2.5, 3 years old. And it was a really special moment because it was, I mean, you got to think like over 500 hours of our own time put into something that like you never knew if it was going to ever happen. Like you didn't know how you were going to be seen as, you didn't know if this was going to work out. You didn't know like what kind of effect this could possibly even have in sports.
And the emotional toll that I can imagine it took on you. Also, you knowing like, I'm not someone that's probably going to see the most benefits from this because I'm closer to being on my way out of this league.
Yeah.
But knowing that you did this and you fought this fight because now it's going to impact so many women now to come to this league is incredible that you guys did this.
All right, Daddy Gang, this is an ad by BetterHelp. I have had such a busy year so far, and lately I've been wanting to take some time to reflect and just check in on my mental health. I have been really interested in exploring different forms of therapy, so I've been doing a lot of research into what technique might be best for me to try next. But as amazing as the internet is for finding resources, I have also found that the information overload, it can sometimes make me feel even more anxious. Like there's so much advice right at your fingertips, and it can quickly go from being helpful to extremely overwhelming. I feel like there's a trendy solution for everything these days. You can take a cold plunge, do a gratitude journal, like do a screen detox. Everyone on the internet has an opinion on what you should be doing, and it can honestly become a struggle to know what the right course of action should be for you. But that is where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp offers trusted resources and live therapists to get you personal recommendations that help break through the online noise. With over 30,000 therapists worldwide, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. Plus, BetterHelp is extremely convenient, right? You can join a session with a therapist at the click of a button. You don't need to leave your home. And also, if you are not vibing with a therapist, you can switch at any time. I always say therapy is kind of like dating. You don't have to just stay with someone. You can always break up with them and find someone new. So as the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/daddy. That's betterhelp.com/daddy.
I remember when I decided to get involved with the NWSL, I think that was one of like my first conversations that I had with the current commissioner, Jessica Berman. I remember I sat with her in New York City and I had a meeting with her, and I had like opportunities to put my hydration drink with like, you know, in certain areas. And I was like, I want soccer, but like, what are we doing for these women and how is this changing? And I will tell you, almost one of the single-handed reasons that I decided to sign that contract with the NWSL is because of that woman. She is the commissioner. The way that she's talking about, like, she's owning, like, I cannot believe what has happened in the past. And I come from the male sports side. And my goal in my literal life right now, and I see her sacrificing her time with her family and everything, as all the other athletes are doing, is like, I'm going to make change. And I know it's not going to happen overnight. And I remember she had told me, she's like, in my office, I have framed burn it, when Rapinoe literally tweeted and was like, fucking burn it. Like, she's like, I look at that every single day and I'm like, I am going to work my ass off to support and protect these women. And to me, that is also a product of you and all the women who stood there, because it's like, now every single time we chip away at this, it's not going to change overnight, but it's getting better. So as fucked up as all this was, thank you for all the work that you did, because now all these women who are playing right now wouldn't have had the rights that they do. And I know they still are probably want to fight for more things, but you guys got the ball rolling in a way that is going to change generationally women's sports.
Yeah, honestly, thank you. Just taking ownership is so important, and like holding yourself accountable and knowing that like we all have a part to play, and also we likely won't reap the benefits of what we're fighting for, but the hope is that our kids will. Like, my hope is my daughter knows nothing other than equal. She knows nothing other than having as much access to a soccer field, to the best like coaches, to the best opportunities, because I played some small part in it. I look at these young players coming into the NWSL and I'm like, yeah, you have that confidence. Yeah, you walk in there proudly and you ask for what you deserve. Because in a lot of ways, like, that's what we fought for, but we didn't have that opportunity. I mean, players' first contracts, the first year of the NWSL that I played in, dating myself, was $6,000. Not a month, for the season. $6,000 to play in the NWSL for the season. Players are getting over $500,000 now to play, and maybe in 3 years, $1 million, and maybe in 3 more years, $5 million. Who knows? It started with those players.
It's crazy to think about. I also just couldn't help but think as you're saying that, how many women listen to this show. And it's like, this doesn't have to just be applicable to sports. I think sometimes when you as a woman want to try to create change, whether it's at your job or socially or whatever it be, like it can feel really disorienting because you're essentially most of the time the only woman in the room. Like even as although we're talking about women's sports, you're like, all of the people we're in the room with are these men that are making these decisions, right? And so I think this is one of the most concrete, incredible examples of, yes, you may not completely reap the benefits of the fight that you go towards to get more equality for women in your sector of wherever you are in life. But this is a perfect example. Your daughter now, if she decides to go and play, she is going to have a better life because of you. And how fucking cool is that?
And hopefully in or out of sport.
Yeah. Let's talk about your retirement. You said that you had an epiphany talking to your husband one night that this was what needed to happen.
Over some red wine.
Your teeth are stained. You're like, babe, it's over. He's like, go brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have some wine. What is this conversation like?
It was just like, I'm ready. Like I'm ready to have more babies. I'm ready to hang up the boots. I'm ready to have my weekends free. And I feel like I did anything and everything I could have ever dreamed of and beyond in soccer. There's like nothing left that I feel like I need to accomplish.
What was the hardest part of making the decision?
The hardest part was telling people. It wasn't making the decision. Honestly, once I made the decision, it was like the biggest weight off of my shoulders. I just like came to training. No one knew at this time. You know, this was March or April and I didn't retire till September. I came to training like just like happy and like this is my first soccer game in 2025, 2020, what was it? What year are we in? Jesus. But it was just like a lightness that I hadn't had for years. I think just like carrying not only the pressure that I had on myself, but also the weight of like being in a way like the face of the league and a way like carrying myself in a positive way, all day, every day in front of cameras, whatever it may be. Like I just feel like it was a lot and I didn't know until I made the decision that then I was like, there's this lightness to me. What is this?
And I was going to say like, isn't your body exhausted?
Yeah, exhausted. You get older and you're like, oh shit, I have these 18-year-old teammates and I cannot keep up. It's time.
Right, you're like, I'm in pain. Like, I gotta go. Like, you deserve to relax. You deserve.
Thank you. I think so too.
You do, Alex. Did you ask any one of your like former teammates for any advice on like how to approach announcing a retirement, or did you just like let it rip on your own?
I actually looked up a lot of retirement like announcements. I saw Abby's. I had a front row view of Pino's because hers was right before the World Cup in 23 and she was retiring at the end of the year. So I like saw the way a lot of people announced their retirement and did their official like video or whatever it may be. And I just was like, yeah, I want to just like speak directly to everyone and I want to lay it all out there. And then, surprise, I got pregnant. So retirement happened a little bit quicker.
I know. I love that you're like, oh, by the way, also retiring and I'm pregnant.
That was not that was a surprise for sure. Yep, I'm one of those. I was like, I won't get pregnant. I got pregnant. Boom. Oh my God.
But what a nice thing to then look forward to. You're like, peace out. And I have another one on the way. It was
extremely stressful for like 2 weeks. I was like, actually talking with my manager and I was like, okay. Or they were like, we have this great like runway to retirement and like your announcement, and then you're going to get your flowers and then this and then that. And I'm thinking to myself like, shit, I really got to tell them that my time's coming.
Oh my God.
So yeah, there was supposed to be a call about figuring out the next 3 months. And I was like, no, I actually am coming up on 3 months pregnant and I need to retire like this weekend. Like I'm 3 months pregnant and I can't do it anymore. I can't hide it. I can't play. I can't do it.
Your jersey is officially being retired. Congratulations. I mean, that's
Thanks.
epic in a lot of ways, but like, how do you feel about it?
So good. I just never even thought that was a possibility, I guess. You see male athletes get their jersey retired, but I don't know, as a female athlete, there goes the double standard again. You just don't like think that will happen to me because I'm a female athlete. So it's incredible. It's a proud moment for me. And now having my son and my daughter and be able to go out on the field and wave to everybody and have 2 kids and a family and just be really happy and at peace where I left the game.
It's incredible.
And now be an investor in the team.
I know. I was going to say
that I'm getting my jersey retired from.
Talk to me about the decision to invest in San Diego.
Well, you did your research as well with Unwell and where to bring it. And I did mine as well. I gave everything to this league since the very start. I was I don't even know if there might be 1 or 2 more players currently playing that played in the league back in 2013 when it first started, when there was nothing, when there were no showers after a game in a locker room.
Oh, you're like, I am OG, even a locker room. Don't forget it.
Yeah,
okay?
Don't forget it. But I'm really proud of where the league has come, and I'm proud of what the small or maybe not, I don't know, of the part I partook in that, in creating a league that is sustainable, that can create stars, global stars, that is viewed over multiple platforms weekly. That also wasn't the case in 2013.
No, it
Couldn't
was not.
barely get a tweet back then. So I'm just, I wanted to be able to invest back in the league at the team level, and to be in San Diego and raise my kids there and have them have also like some ownership over an affiliation with the team, more than just like mom played there. We go to the games now. My daughter was like jumping up and down with her posters. She's waving at all of the players, like trying to get their attention, them like waving back to her. It's so great.
It's so cool to hear you talk about, getting invested now in the league in a different way than being a player, but basically being like part of the ownership. And I would just like want to say, because I this year obviously have gone to more NWSL games now with my partnership with them, and like, to women listening, I think when you're in high school, when you're in college, and when you're in your 20s, 30s, and so on, like, I think a lot of times, especially with social media, we feel like, where is my social life, and where can I meet people, and where can I get out and actually be in physical with other women that are like-minded? And now every single NWSL game that I've gone to, I, number one, have met actually some of my heroes. Like when I met Brandy Chastain the other month, I was like, okay, well, young Alex actually is like alive inside right now and is thriving and is crying. And so if you were ever a soccer fan, there's always former players that you know their names and you can run into, and it's really cool. But then also the current players are so incredible, and their personalities you see online, which is fun to be able to follow them and then go and see them in real life. But I would say also, for people that maybe aren't as sports oriented, the biggest draw was people go and just go to have a nice time and meet people. And
it's a very welcoming environment.
It is.
But also really fun.
It is really fun. And I think, again, I know women, sometimes sports can be intimidating if you haven't gotten into sports. And I'm telling you, the easiest way into sports is through women's sports. And the NWSL, we just have so many cool things going on, and like giving away jerseys. And I know when we do Unwell pop-ups, like it's like fun activations that, I don't know, I hope that people look and invest more in women's sports, because not only are you investing in the players and just women and equality in general, but you're also investing in yourself, because you're going to meet women and you're going to make friends in your city or wherever you live. So don't overlook it. Get to these games. It's very fun. I had a great time.
Extremely fun. I mean, look at even all of the owners across the board. Like, I'm sorry, Natalie Portman.
No, like, it's so sexy.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm like, yes, Natalie. Like, it's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's cool to see everyone investing. And I appreciate you, though, Alex, because you have paved the way, like you said, since there were literally no showers. And now it's getting sexier, but then you've been there since the non-sexy days. Alex, I can't thank you enough for coming. I think like the conversation we had for women, especially right now, is like timely past sports of just like everything that's going on in the world. I think women need conversations like this to feel like they have something to look forward to. And I will be honest, I think it's like kind of rare that you get to sit down with a woman that can actually like roll out her portfolio and be like, this is what I advocated for, and this is literally what came of it. So to sit with you and be able to hopefully, one, I'm sure there's a lot of people learning about this story that maybe it didn't hit their news cycle when it all went down. I'm happy they're going to learn about it, and hopefully this inspires other women to be like, okay, wait, maybe like I am way stronger, and if I get some of my women together, we can actually change some shit around us. And if we did that today, we did our jobs, Alex. We don't need to juggle, honey. Okay, we don't need to pick up a soccer ball anymore. We can just talk about it and we can make change happen.
That's right.
Thank
you for having me on. You are so badass, and I love listening and watching you. You've built a fucking empire, so congrats.
Thank you. So have you. Oh my God. Done. You're amazing.